及各位贵宾，酒会即将正式开始，请关闭手机或改为震动。Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the program is about to begin. Please kindly turn off your cell phones or switch them to silent mode. Thank you.各位长官及各位贵宾，欢迎来到台乌友谊酒会。我们很荣幸与您在此共同庆祝台湾与乌克兰的友谊。Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Taiwan-Ukraine Friendship Reception. We're deeply honored to celebrate the friendship between Taiwan and Ukraine with you all. 请外交部欧洲司姚金祥司长引言。Now we would like to invite Director General Vincent Yao of the Department of European Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to deliver an introduction.
Good afternoon. Today we're so honored to have seen so many Ukrainians in Taiwan here in the Taipei Guest House, and we are so happy to be joined by legislator Huang Shijie and his members of the Taiwan-Ukraine Parliament Members Friendship Association, and so many representatives from EU member states, and of course today's host, Dr. Zhao Joseph Wu, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and our Deputy Minister Ming-Yan Cai. And before I introduce other speakers, it would be my honor to make some introductory remarks. That I was just recently returned from Sweden. I was Taiwan's representative to Sweden for 2 years. And since February this year, the world has seen how strongly the EU, the entire Europe, united behind Ukraine to try to stop Russia's invasion. And I was invited by so many media outlets, including national TV station, national radio station, and so many newspapers to make remarks on how to compare Taiwan's situation and that of Ukraine. And in all these interviews and panel discussions, as I mentioned over and over, the bravery and resilience of Ukrainians inspire many people in Taiwan. And our Taiwan government and people really resonate so much with what's going on in Ukraine. And I don't have to go into the details how much Taiwan provide humanitarian assistance and donations and join the international economic sanction against Russia. But I have to emphasize that on the contrary, we have seen that China not only has rejected Ukraine's call for helping establish a humanitarian corridor, but also joined aggressively helping Russia spreads disinformation. And China also spread the cognitive warfare information in Taiwan, such as today's Ukraine, tomorrow's Taiwan, and try to coerce Taiwanese people into accepting the one country, one China principle, or one country, two systems. But with the continued setback in Russia's military activities in Ukraine, now many people have chanted, today's Russia, tomorrow's China, to warn that China is better not thinking about launching an attack on Taiwan. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that the victory in Ukraine is of great importance, not only to Ukraine, not only to Europe, but also to Taiwan. The victory of Ukraine will be a great deterrence to China's ambition to annex Taiwan. And thank you very much, and I now want to introduce today's speaker. First is the Honorable Yulia Klimenko, First Deputy Head of the Committee on Transport and Infrastructure, a member of the Taiwan Friendship Caucus of the Ukrainian Parliament. And she would join us by delivering a pre-recorded remarks. And the Honorable Kira Rudik, member of Ukrainian Parliament, who has traveled for 38 hours from Ukraine to join us. And then our good friend from Lithuania, the Honorable Zigi Mantas Pavilionis, Deputy Chair of the Committee of European Affairs, the Lithuanian Seimas, who has also helped bridge the friendship, and Dr. Hanna Hapko, representative of the International Center for Ukrainian Victory and former head of the Committee on Foreign Affairs of the Ukrainian Parliament, and then the Honorable Huang Huizang Shijie, President of the Taiwan-Ukraine Parliament Members Friendship Association, who represents the Legislative Yuan, the Parliament of Taiwan. And followed by Ms. Olha Kulish, representative of the Ukrainian community in Taiwan. And last but not the least, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Zhao Xie Joseph Wood. And thank you very much. Now we will hear from Yulia. Thank you.
谢谢姚司长 ，Thank you, Director General Yao。接下来，我们很荣幸邀请目前身在乌克兰的乌克兰国会议员 Yulia Klimenko 以预录方式致辞。Next, we would like to invite Honorary Yulia Klimenko, member of the Ukrainian Parliament, who is currently in Ukraine, for her pre-recorded remarks.
Greetings from Ukraine, and thank you for this invitation. It's an honor and pleasure for me to speak to you. This time I'm speaking online, but I hope I will do it in person in a few months. Taiwan and Ukraine have many things in common. We are fighting for our independence, sovereignty, and rights for our families to live in peace and prosperity. Ukraine is already 8 years in war, and 8 months in a full-scale war with Russia, fighting for national and personal rights and our dignity. And we never give up. But Ukraine is fighting not only for its independence, it's also fighting for the whole democratic world and democratic values, showing that there is no space for brutal force and dictators in a modern world. As well as there are no local wars anymore. Military conflicts and wars in one part of the world immediately has profound effect on social, economic, and political life of many nations in the globe, turning local conflicts into the major global conflicts. That is what we can see in our example, where Russia war led not only to the struggles of millions of Ukrainians, but also to global food insecurity, inflation, migration, and geopolitical instability. We need a new global order and new rules. And for that, all democratic countries should be united and help each other to build a better future. Ukraine will win and will build a new bright future. And we will be happy to do it with the support of our friends from Taiwan. Slava Ukraini and glory to Taiwan.
以预录影片的方式来和大家致辞。那我今天是以线上预录影片的方式，但是我希望几个月之后可以到台湾来访问。台湾与乌克兰有许多共通之处，我们都努力捍卫我们的独立、主权，还有和平稳定生活的权利。乌俄冲突8年前其实就已经开始了，而过去8个月则是乌俄全面战争。我们为了我们的国家还有个人的权利以及尊严而战，我们永远不会放弃。而乌克兰捍卫的不只是自己的独立性，也是为了整个民主的世界还有民主价值而战。我们要向世界证明，这个现代社会、现代世界没有暴力和独裁者存在的空间。那现在的世界呢，其实已经没有区域战争了。现在全世界某一个区域的军事冲突还有战争，很快就会对全球其他的国家有巨大的社会、经济及政治性的影响。所以区域性的战争马上就会变成全球的冲突。这是我们在乌克兰看到的事情，就是乌俄战争不但是造成了这个乌克兰人好几百万人的受苦受难，也造成了全球的这个粮食安全，还有通膨，还有这个难民，还有地缘政治的不稳定性。我们需要新的国际秩序，新的秩序，而为此，所有的民主国家都应该团结在一起，互相帮助，来打造更美好的未来。乌克兰终将获得胜利，我们会打造一个全新的明亮的未来，而我们希望在这么做的时候，我们有台湾的朋友的帮忙。荣光归乌克兰，荣光归台湾。谢谢。
接下来，我们很荣幸邀请远从乌克兰来台的朋友，国会议员 Kira Rudik 致辞。Now we're honored to invite Honorary Kira Rudik, member of the Ukrainian Parliament, who flew to Taiwan all the way from Ukraine to deliver her remarks.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure and honor, and I'm so humbled to stand here today in front of all of you. I know that there are so many Ukrainians here in the room, and I want to share my love and support to you because I know how hard it is to be outside the country. Because of my work right now, I travel a lot to spread the word about Ukraine and to make sure that every single country knows the truth. But I can tell you honestly, it's much more calmer and normal when you're sitting in a bomb shelter with the loved ones, even when you're somewhere in safety, but outside the country. So I know this feeling, and I feel for you. I want to extend the gratefulness to every single person here who supports us and supports our country. You know, every single time I see a person who is wearing the Ukrainian flag, my heart sings, for real. Because I know that people from literally the other side of the world support us and know the struggle that we are fighting and say, we stand with Ukraine.
所以大家好，今天非常荣幸可以在这里与大家齐聚一堂。我在这里看到非常多的乌克兰人，我想要向他们传达我的爱与支持。我知道在这个时候，在乌克兰以外的地方，其实是对心灵上是一个很大的负担。因为工作的关系，我到世界各地去告诉大家有关乌克兰的事情，希望大家都知道就是事实上的状况。但老实说，其实如果现在我可以跟我的爱的人一起在乌克兰的防空洞里面，我心灵上其实是比较踏实的。我要感谢每一个支持乌克兰的人，我每一次看到有人带着乌克兰的国旗，我都心里感到非常的感动。我知道世界上有很多角落的人都知道乌克兰现在经历的磨难与我们站在一起。
I want to share a personal story with you. And it's not a story about bomb shelters or atrocities, but about something actually beautiful. On the day 1 of war, the bombarding of Kyiv started at 5 a.m. We did not anticipate that, and we members of parliament woke up just as anybody else, terrified, not knowing what to do. Evacuate your families. It was just a time when everybody were in distress and despair. We knew that the main goal of the parliament at the time of war is to gather together and vote for the martial law to begin. This is like the key thing that you have to do as a parliamentarian. And then whatever happens. And we were calling each other with the other party leaders, figuring out if we are even able to get enough parliamentarians into the Rada to vote, to have enough votes for that, because it was critical. And we were calling people, and people were not picking up, and Kyiv was whole in traffic, and we didn't even know if people will be physically able to go there. But this is something that we had to do, and we said, okay, we will try to do our best. Our security said that we will have 10 minutes in Ukrainian parliament. This is just enough for us to get in and out. This is what they can give us as a security time, and that's it. And Ukrainian parliament was built by Soviets, and it's a huge building that is built to show that not even that you're a politician, you are still humble and small piece of the huge socialism building. And you can imagine this building being dark, full of military people, with no lights, and the windows covered with the bags of sand. And we were getting very quickly to the chambers, and we were looking at each other, and when everybody got in, we have seen that of 420 parliamentarians, 400 came. Because we thought that if doctors are curing and our soldiers will be fighting, we will have to perform our duty. And it was one of the most emotional moments of my life, because we were so scared, but also we felt united. And this is what we were trying to bring with us for the 8 months of the full-scale invasion. For the 10 minutes that we were in the chambers and we were desperately voting for everything that needed, we were singing national anthem. And as my mom says, if there's 2 Ukrainians who can sing national anthem, Ukraine is alive and running. I think today there are enough people in the room that we can do something like that. Don't you think so? Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу і тіло ми положимо покажем за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду. Слава Україні!
所以今天我想要跟各位分享一个我自己经历的小故事。那这个故事呢，不是关于在防空洞躲避这个炮击，也不是关于俄军的恶行，而是一个非常美好的故事。这个故事呢，就是俄乌战争的第一天的时候，基辅是早上凌晨5点就被炮轰，就被攻击，这是我们没有预期到的，所以我们当时国会议员我们都非常的害怕，我们也不知道该怎么办，我们感到非常恐惧。但是我们知道，我们那时候的工作就是要赶快到国会去投票，进行戒严，通过戒严，这是我们的工作。所以我们一直在互相打电话，看我们能不能聚集到足够的国会议员来进行投票来通过戒严，但是我们不知道能不能凑到足够的票数，也不知道因为这个交通的关系，我们有没有办法到国会去。但是我们知道，我们必须要尽一切所能来达到这件事情。所以最后呢，我们就是花了10分钟，我们赶快的在投票，因为军队在说我们只有10分钟可以保护我们的安全，我们就必须要马上的撤离。那我们在乌克兰的国会大楼其实是苏联所建的，那你可以想象那个大楼，它是要告诉你，就算你是一个政治人物，你还是只是这个社会主义之下的一个渺小的人类而已。所以呢，这个大楼当时是非常黑暗的，而且所有的窗户都被沙包给挡起来。我们就非常快速的进入国会，而且当时我们看到420位乌克兰国会议员中有400位都到场了。当时我们知道医生和军队的这个士兵，他们都在进行他们的职责，所以我们身为国会议员，我们也必须要就符合我们的职责进行投票。那是我人生中最感动的一刻。虽然我们很害怕，但是我们全部都聚集在一起，我们有共同的目标。所以当时呢，我就想到我妈妈曾经说过，如果你在一间房间中有2个人会唱乌克兰国歌的话，那乌克兰永远就不会死亡，就是这个国家永远都会在。那我相信我们今天在场也有非常多的乌克兰人，所以我们就也可以来进行唱国歌的这个感动的这个仪式哦。谢谢。
接下来，我们很荣幸邀请远从立陶宛来的朋友，国会欧洲事务委员会副主席 Zygmantas Pavlonis 致辞。Next, we're honored to invite Honorary Zygmantas Pavlonis, Deputy Chair of the Lithuanian Seimas Committee on European Affairs, to deliver his remarks.
Well, Honorable Minister, my dear brothers and sisters Ukrainians, and all honorable representatives of different countries here. Well, I guess you are puzzled what actually he's doing here. Why Lithuanian? I will try to make it short. It started 700 years ago. Don't be afraid, it will not be 7 hours of lecture, but to make it very blunt, once from 13th century to the end of 18th century, together with Ukrainians, Belarusians, and Poles, we've been living in one big empire. That was the biggest state in Europe, like France and Spain all together. That was very liberal. Well, first of all, because, well, we were kind of pagan. We were not so Christian and civilized like Ukrainians. You know, for us, most important that we keep our borders safe from Mongol Tatars and Russians who were coming and killing us, well, mostly all that time. We were defeating them in battles of Orsha and so on, but by the end of 18th century, we became so liberal that, inspired by American experiment that we also created together with Americans, we adopted a constitution, first written constitution in Europe, only 4 years after Americans did it, with more or less all the liberties and dignities and so on. And we've been killed by free emperors because they didn't like that freedom experiment to be successful, of course. And that story continued. We were occupied by Russian Empire, then by Soviets, and then Lithuanians and Ukrainians, mostly the only nations who've been fighting with guerrillas. Like in Lithuania, we had 30,000 troops after Soviets occupied. Guerrillas who've been killing all Russians who entered, trying to create those communist kolkhozs and so on. We were the only nations with Ukrainians who were revolting in concentration camps. And we were the first to revolt against the Soviets. My Ukrainian friend reminded about those resistance moments in parliament. We were also standing in the parliament in the 90s. I was a young student then of philosophy. I saw my friends and school boys and girls, one of them Tatar, killed in front of my eyes by Soviet tanks. But we won then. It was our Tiananmen moment. We saw the Red Army stopped in front of our eyes. We resisted. The Gorbachev, the Nobel Prize winner, the wonderful Gorbachev who sent tanks to kill us, he stopped. It was too nasty for him to continue killing us. He just killed 14 Lithuanians then. So the only problem with our history, common history, was like we discuss sometimes with our brothers and sisters Poles, that our empire was called Rzeczpospolita of two nations, Lithuanians and Poles. We didn't recognize identity of Ukrainians. That was our big mistake. Maybe not so much Lithuanian, but okay, sorry for political incorrectness. But we have this debt to Ukrainians. And because we have that debt, Lithuanians and Poles and all other nations of Europe, after making all possible mistakes also in Bucharest NATO summit, when we succumbed for Putin's pressure, when he threatened us that he will occupy Ukraine in case we enlarge NATO, then we made a word to ourselves that till the end, that was actually my last toast with Ukrainian friends in Washington, D.C. Till the end of my life, I will do everything to get Ukrainians into EU and NATO. But here again, we have a little problem with that toast, because I think I will not have to live so long to see it happening. I think, according to our plan, Ukrainians will become members of the European Union in 2029. That's a Lithuanian plan. We will have to negotiate with our European brothers about that. And on NATO, we have Vilnius NATO summit next year. We have Biden coming. So we will do everything not to have another Bucharest. But then the mission of my life, because I thought that, okay, if we anchor Ukraine in EU and NATO, we Lithuanians, we can live happily ever after, but not. We have to anchor your freedom here, because Taiwan is now the future epicenter of huge battle of autocracies and democracies. And I very much liked what Director Vincent said. If China is thinking about what Russia was thinking in Europe, they should think it twice, because we will fight. We will fight with everything we have. Because if somebody wants to kill freedom on this island, they are going to dominate globally. And this will not happen. We stopped all the odds on our borders, and we will defend your freedom. So, for our freedom and yours, like we've been saying in Middle Ages. Thank you.
吴部长、各位乌克兰的朋友、各位各国的代表，大家好。那可能你们在想，为什么一个立陶宛的议员会今天来到这里致辞呢？那其实是要从700年前开始说起。其实以前呢，我们是一个大帝国，我们是一起的，我们是一个非常大的帝国。大概跟今天的法国跟西班牙是合在一起这么大，那我们非常崇尚这个自由的价值，我们那时候就是要防范这个蒙古还有这个俄国的入侵，而且我们也成功的击退他们了。但是在18世纪的时候呢，我们效仿，我们受到美国的经验的启发，我们也在我们的国家制定了宪法，这是欧洲第 第一部的宪法，而且是在美国制定宪法后仅仅4年，我们就制定了这个宪法。但是当时就有许多独裁者，他们就不开心。那这个故事就是告诉我们，俄国跟苏联，我们后来也是被他们所占据。那这个俄国也是推崇这个共产的价值。我们立陶宛是第一个起来反抗苏联的这个共产主义的国家。那我们也是刚才听到这个乌国的代表国会议员讲到，在国会的这个奋战的这个状况，我其实也有相似的经验。我当时是哲学的学生，那我也亲眼看到我的同学在我的面前被这个苏联的坦克给杀死。但是我们当时呢最后是阻止了这个红色军队占领我们的国家。那所以我们其实有很多相似的经验，相似的历史价值。但是我们以前其实跟这个波兰感情比较好，我们那时候没有关注到，没有和乌克兰这么友好。那这是我们可以说是欠乌克兰一个人情这样子。所以呢，其实后来我们也想要还这个人情嘛，所以我们就非常希望可以让乌克兰就是加入欧盟，还有这个北约。这是我在华府担任大使的时候，这是我这个人生的一个志业。我希望可以帮助乌克兰加入欧盟以及这个北约。那问题是我可能不会活那么久，就是发生这件事情可能要很久，我可能不会活得那么久。但是其实呢，现在我们已经有很多好消息了。这个欧盟应该是很快就可以加入，而北约我们明年也会在维尔纽斯，在我们的国家进行高峰会。那到时美国总统拜登也会来，那我到时候希望可以努力的让这个乌克兰可以加入。那更重要的是，我们现在呢要保卫的是台湾的自由，因为台湾是未来民主与威权之间的这个对抗的一个中心，一个世界的中心。所以中国如果看了俄国的例子，如果想要攻占侵略台湾的话，那他可能要再想想，因为我们一定会起身捍卫我们的国家，捍卫到底。所以我们会致力努力的捍卫乌克兰与台湾的这个自由。非常谢谢。
接下来，我们很荣幸邀请乌克兰 NGO 代表、前国会议员 Hannah Hopko 致辞。Next, we're honored to invite Honorary Hannah Hopko, representative of the International Center for Ukrainian Victory and former member of the Ukrainian Parliament, to deliver her remarks.
Thank you. Honorable Minister and all guests, I'm really honored to be here and privileged to stay today. It was my dream to visit Taiwan from the beginning of Russian aggression in 2014. And after my visit of Taiwanese embassy in Washington, D.C. this September, where I met your Ambassador Xiao, and she gave me a mask with the written text, "Stand with Ukraine." And also, she gave us a gift, the most tasty pineapples in the world, freedom pineapples. And it's also my honor to talk after Žygimantas Paviljonis, because now I have the peace cocktail. It's Lithuanian rum and pineapples juice from Taiwan. And can you imagine this peace cocktail? It's a Ukrainian flag. But I would say that we should today, when we met with your members of parliament, and the member of parliament promised us to change the logo, saying not stand with Ukraine, but win with Ukraine. And I would like to say that this cocktail should be also renamed. This is the victory cocktail. And Ukrainian people are really very thankful to Taiwanese people for your support you already provided to us. Our local communities, like Mayor in Bucha, in Kharkiv, in Kyiv, Mayor Klitschko, they are very thankful because they feel how Taiwanese people are really generous and how you really represent the best of your nation. So I believe in God's purpose on Ukraine victory. And here in Taiwan, I feel the global geopolitical importance of Ukraine defeating Russia. And I also wanted to raise this toast for Ukrainian victory and also for Ukrainian defenders, because the strongest army in the world is Ukrainian armed forces. They are defeating Russian demoralized troops. And actually, we are fighting today, winning tomorrow and defeating authoritarianism and totalitarian regime in Russia. And it's a powerful signal to China because I think 21st century, it's an end of imperialism. Because when Soviet Union was disintegrated in 1991, this was the defeat of communism, but not the defeat of colonialism and imperialism. So now we have our historic mission of our country to defeat Russian imperialism and to defeat Chinese authoritarianism. And why I'm very thankful that here is the Lithuanian Rome, because Lithuanians demonstrated leadership, because they first who withdrew from 17+1 format. And I think we should applaud Lithuanians and ask everyone to join to this initiative. Because stand with Ukraine means no compromises with evil. Stand with Ukraine, it means to choose the right side of history. Stand with Ukraine, it means to support. Stand with Ukraine, it means no double standards or pressure on Ukraine to concede territories or to have peace talks. We will never have any negotiations, only international tribunal, only punishment and reparations. So this is our goal. Like Nazi Germany, after defeat in the World War II, they went through tribunal and actually reparations. So this is also, we are now documenting all war crimes, crimes against humanity, atrocities, and genocide. And we, by justice, we will punish totalitarian regimes, and we will prevent attack on Taiwan, because we know what is the strength in your people, and really the hospitality in your country, here in Washington, in your embassy, in Prague, in Warsaw. So we are like spiritual brothers, and God bless those who are fighting for good and for others. So this is why I'm really thanks again for your minister. We also had meeting today with your Minister of Digital Affairs, with representatives of think tanks. And Crimea is an achievable goal for next year. And I'm raising the toast for victory of Ukraine and for our meeting with the political representatives of Taiwan next year in Ukrainian Crimea. God bless our plan, and thank you for your support. Dosia.
吴部长、各位女士、先生，大家好！我今天真的非常荣幸可以来到这里。从俄国侵略克里米亚2014年之后，我就一直梦想着有一天能够来到台湾来访问。那9月的时候，我也到了台湾的美国代表处跟萧大使碰面。那当时我也拿到了一个口罩，上面写着“与乌克兰站在一起”。那我当时也是感到非常的感动，而且我们也喝了这个自由的鸡尾酒，它是用这个立陶宛的朗姆酒还有台湾的凤梨汁所调制的，所以我今天也非常高兴看到立国的这个议员代表。那我们今天也看到很多这个乌克兰国旗的蓝色和黄色，我真的非常的感动。那今天和立委们碰面的时候，他们也说，我们口罩上不应该写着与乌克兰站在一起，应该写与乌克兰一同获得胜利。所以我们真的非常感激台湾这边提供的所有的支持，我们乌克兰许多的社群、所有的城市、布查还有基辅都非常感谢台湾慷慨的协助。我们也相信乌克兰终将获得胜利。那全世界其实都非常关注着这乌克兰，希望最后可以打败俄国这边，因为呢，其实这是这个全世界都关注的一个事情。 情。其实我们乌克兰的军队是全世界最强大的军队，因为我们目前正在打败一些俄军，他们已经士气低迷，他们节节败退，所以我们也非常希望可以打败这个威权主义的力量哦。那这也可以向中国传达讯息，就是帝国主义的世代已经过了。这个1991年苏联解体之后，我们也非常希望可以看到这个帝国主义也从此消失。所以呢，我们非常感谢立陶宛也是扮演一个领导的角色，他们是第一个来退出中国为主的这个17+1的这个计划哦。所以我们非常感谢立陶宛也是一直和乌克兰站在一起。和乌克兰站在一起有许多的意义，第一个就是要反抗这个邪恶，第二个就是希望可以站在历史对的一边，而且也希望可以不要有这个双重的标准。我们乌克兰绝对不会进行任何的妥协，我们希望可以让这一次的事件上国际法庭。我们也努力的在进行一切的记录，像当时德国纳粹，他们也是到国际法庭去开庭。所以我们做好记录之后，我们希望也可以把我们的案子呈上去，就是他有这个反人类罪，还有这个种族屠杀罪，我们都希望他们可以得到应得的惩罚。这也可以阻止中国如果想要侵略台湾的话，他们会三思。所以我非常高兴可以来到台湾，我们来到这边受到非常热烈的欢迎，不管是在这里，还是在华府，还是台湾在其他地方的代表处，我们就像精神上的兄弟姐妹一样。我们也非常的开心，今天可以与数位部的唐部长会面，还有台湾的一些智库，都进行了非常有意义的对话。我们希望之后也可以看到台方的官员还有代表团到乌克兰来访问。谢谢。
恭请台乌国会议员友好协会会长黄世杰委员致辞。Next, we would like to invite legislator Huang Shijie, chair of the Taiwan-Ukraine Parliament Members Friendship Association, to deliver his remarks.
好，谢谢哈。在我开始我的这个谈话之前哈，我想先跟我们所有的这个贵宾介绍。我们今天有乌克兰跟台湾有国会友好联谊会所有的我们各位副会长这是因为呢，刚才呢我们感谢我们的若迪克主席他向我们展示了乌克兰在面临危难的时候国会的团结，也在现场展现了乌克兰人民的团结。所以呢，我想要利用这个机会，也向我们所有的来宾来展示台湾也可以做到同样的团结，特别是在支持乌克兰上面。那在我的左手边是我们时代力量的王婉玉委员，也是我们的副会长。再来是我们国民党的陈玉珍委员，他来自金门，也是我们的副会长。在我的右手边，我们的谢依凤委员来自彰化，也是这个国民党的委员，也是我们的副会长。再来是台湾民众党的邱成远总召，也是我们的台商的代表。那么以及呢，我们民主进步党跟我同党的我们的林静怡委员来自台中的选区。
So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I give my remarks, I would first like to introduce the legislators that are standing next to me. They are all vice chairs of the Taiwan-Ukraine Parliament Members Friendship Association that we have at the Legislative Yuan. Parliamentarian Rudik just told us how their parliamentary united in front of crisis, and I want to show everyone that our people are also united, especially when it comes to supporting Ukraine. So today I have with me the vice chairs of our friendship group. We have legislators Wang Wanyu, Chen Yuzhen, Xie Yifeng, Qiu Chengyuan, and Lin Jingyi, and they represent the political parties of Taiwan, including the New Power Party, the Taiwan's People Party, the Kuomintang, and the DPP, the Democratic Progressive Party, which is my party. So you can see that this is a cross-party group that we have that is supporting Ukraine.
我想呢，这个对于我们在现场的所有的在台湾的我们的乌克兰的好朋友们也很有意义因为呢，现在你们知道未来如果遇到需要帮助的时候可以找谁了。
So I'm sure this is also very meaningful to our Ukrainian friends who are here with us today. Now you know when you need help in Taiwan, you know who to call right here.
好，我想还是再一次的非常的感谢我们今天的主人我们的吴钊燮吴部长安排，以及呢远从这个坐了38个小时飞机远从乌克兰来到台湾的我们的鲁迪克主席，以及呢我在欧洲访问的时候所结识的我们的帕季格副主席那他是牵线我们台湾跟乌克兰的国会友谊的桥梁的重要的推手所以他今天来到这边不是只是因为历史的因素他本身也是位非常伟大的外交官，在推动这个世界的民主同盟上面的非常的尽心尽力那么我想更重要的是呢台湾的我们接受到这一个讯息之后呢，我们非常迅速的感谢我所有的同仁们这个非常积极的来加入这个我们的友谊的联谊会，所以现在已经有超过40位的国会议员都在这一个联谊会里面那么今天我们只是代表我们立法院国会对于乌克兰的支持来到这边，那么我们也希望未来站在监督跟督促政府的立场，我们期待对于乌克兰的协助除了共同促进民主的价值之外，也要像世界各国一样继续的有这个实质的交流，尤其是在重建在经贸上面，我们都能够伸出最大的援手，也让我们不管是在台湾的，在世界各地的，以及在乌克兰的所有的乌克兰的人民们，能够感受到台湾对于民主自由价值同盟的维护的信念，以及呢我们对于共同站在一起这样的一个团结的感受，我们是非常的重视。
So once again, I would like to thank Minister Wu for organizing this reception today. I would also like to thank Parliamentarian Rudik, who actually spent 38 hours on the plane just to come to Taiwan to be here with us. It's very touching. So I would like to show you that at the Legislative Yuan, which is Taiwan's parliament, we are also connected. And I am very happy also to see Parliamentarian Pavilionis, who is a very important figure who connected our groups in Ukraine and Lithuania and Taiwan together. And Mr. Pavilionis is also a very excellent diplomat who is very important in forming the alliance of democracy around the world. So it is very important that in Taiwan we have colleagues in the Legislative Yuan who are very supportive of Ukraine. In our group we have more than 40 legislators, and they all show how much the Legislative Yuan is supporting Ukraine. And we hope that in the future, as the Legislative Yuan is a supervising role to the government, we hope that when we are helping Ukraine, we can not only try to promote the values of democracy and freedom, but also have more concrete exchanges in terms of reconstruction and trade and investment. I think that this can show the people around the world, whether it be in Taiwan or Ukraine, that Taiwan is very serious about safeguarding the values of freedom and democracy, and we are all standing together and we are united. This is the very important message that I wish to convey.
就像这2天，普迪克主席以及帕季格副主席，还有很多在世界民主运动大会的先进们，他们不断的强调，乌克兰就是现在世界民主跟集权对抗的中心点，台湾是下一个未来可能的中心点。尤其在最近中国的20大召开之后，我想世界各国都一致的认为，这样子的情势的演变，事实上我们都必须要做好准备。我们认为呢，这8个月来，包括台湾在内，世界各国对于乌克兰的敬仰，对乌克兰的能够坚持下去所给予的所有的援助，以及的这个团结的这样的一个作为，是树立了一个很大的典范。那么我们台湾除了在人民、在社会、在政府都应该要极力来支持这样的典范成功之外，我们也期待借由这样子的民主同盟的深化，能够在这个变动不居的世界秩序里面，能够未来台湾也能够得到类似的这样子的一个被纳入国际秩序盟邦里面的一个坚强的地位。 这个是我们全力要来争取的。所以呢，我们也希望这个是我们国内也必须要能够团结在这样的信念底下，让台湾更安全。只有我们走入国际，只有我们在国际伸出我们最大的援手，我们未来才有可能在这样的安全的架构底下，能够建立起来台湾的稳定跟繁荣的发展。相信未来台湾、乌克兰乃至于立陶宛以及世界所有的民主的朋友之间的关系，会在这样的善的循环底下越来越加的紧密。我们也可以有越来越多互访的机会，促进各方面的交流跟合作。最后祝福今天的活动圆满成功，再一次的表达台湾的国会对于乌克兰全心全力的支持，并且台湾跟乌克兰风雨同行的经验，将会是我们未来友谊最为坚固的基础。谢谢。
So over the past 2 days, Parliamentarian Rudik and also the participants of the WMD conference have stressed that Ukraine is the epicenter in the global struggle between democracy and authoritarianism, and Taiwan will be the next epicenter. And we have also seen that the CCP has held their 20th National Congress, and this has also told us that we must be prepared for any kind of development or conflict. And Taiwan and countries around the world are very touched by Ukraine's bravery and their resilience. I think they are a very good example, and Taiwan's people, society, and government should also try to uphold this kind of example and try to build an alliance around democracy around the world so that we can help uphold these kind of values that we believe in. We also hope that Taiwan will be included in these democratic alliances around the world, because in Taiwan, we are united in the belief that we must support our democratic friends. And we hope that in the future, our friends will also stand behind us so that we can safeguard our stability and prosperity. And I believe that Taiwan, Ukraine, Lithuania, and democracies around the world, we are forming a virtuous cycle which will bring us closer. And in the future, we will also have more mutual visits, which will help us enhance our exchanges and cooperation. And I believe that this will be very successful. So last but not least, I would like to stress that Taiwan, our legislative yuan, we fully support Ukraine, and we hope that Taiwan and Ukraine will become real friends, true friends, because we have a very solid foundation for our friendship. Thank you.
接下来，我们很荣幸邀请乌克兰在台侨民代表 Olha Kolish 致辞。Next, we're pleased to invite Ms. Olha Kolish, representative of the Ukrainian community in Taiwan, to deliver her remarks.
感谢台湾国会成立对乌克兰友好小组，这个小组对增进两国的关系相当重要，也是我们在台湾的乌克兰社群引颈期盼的成果。在此祝福两国友好小组能顺利的发展，让我们彼此更了解，共同在民主的道路上一起努力。战争开始之后，蔡英文总统立即发表了声明支持乌克兰，外交部也提供了约4000万美元捐助外，还有600吨的人道物资，还有27吨的医疗物资。直到今天，在台湾的乌克兰社群 Team Ukraine。Taiwan stands with Ukraine, Devchata Power 也一直持续为同胞募集资源。我们在乌克兰独立日当天，乌克兰社群、台湾的基督长老教会，还有包厢建设公司和许多的善心人士资助下，向基辅地区提供了154张医疗床，目前已经抵达白家堂市。并在白家堂市长 Hennady Dickey 和国会议员 Yaroslav Yurchyshin 以及当地的台湾党职工们协助之下，送达需要的8个医疗院所。 我利用这次机会以母语向在座的乌克兰的代表团报告。З перших днів війни президент Тайваню Цай Іньвен підтримала Україну перед світовою спільнотою. Міністерством закордонних справ Тайваню було оголошено про допомогу Україні. Окрім допомоги на офіційному рівні, яка оцінюється в $40 мільйонів США, 600 тонн гуманітарної допомоги та 27 тонн медичних засобів і не тільки, громадські організації на Тайвані Team Ukraine, Taiwan Stands with Ukraine, Дівчата Power також постійно займається збором допомоги для співвітчизників. На День Незалежності України українська громада завдяки фінансуванню Пресвітеріанської церкви Тайваню, компанії Baoxian Construction та також небайдужих тайванських громадян відправили 154 спеціалізованих медичних ліжок у Київську область, зокрема у 8 медичних закладів із деокупованих територій. Цей гуманітарний вантаж наразі вже дістався місця призначення в Україні і розподіляється волонтерами із Team Taiwan. 我们在台湾乌克兰的社区将持续关切着我们在乌克兰的同胞，每一位成员都愿意尽一己之力来帮助军队和灾民。随着两国成立友好小组，我们相信未来能整合更多资源，更直接帮助在乌克兰的重建工作。再次祝福两国友好小组顺利成功。感谢大家，感谢台湾。
恭请外交部吴部长致辞。Now, please join me in welcoming Foreign Minister Joseph Wu to deliver his remarks.
Dear friends, today we are all Ukrainians. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is very proud to be able to host the reception today in honor of our Ukrainian friends, including our Ukrainian friends coming from afar, traveling for 38 hours, and also the Ukrainian community here in Taiwan.
今天我想我们全部在场所有人都是乌克兰人，外交部非常的荣幸今天能够举办这个酒会，为我们的乌克兰的朋友来进行致意，还有我们的国会议员旅行了38个小时到这边和我们在一起。
The war atrocities that we have seen on TV is something that hit us very hard. And when we saw the war took place, the Taiwanese people feel that we need to stand together with Ukraine. We saw the killing of innocent people. We saw the damages to the residential area, to the hospitals, to the schools. That is something that we see that should not have happened.
所以我们在电视上看到在乌克兰发生的战争的暴行的时候，我们都感到十分的心碎。就是从战争刚开始的时候，我们台湾人就知道我们必须和乌克兰站在一起。我们看到战火波及，影响到的是无辜的百姓，战火波及的是他们的住所、他们的医院、他们的学校，这些都是不应该发生的事情。
And therefore, since day one, Taiwan joined the international condemnation against Russia. Taiwan joined the international sanctions against Russia, and Taiwan also joins the democratic world to provide support to Ukraine.
所以从第一天开始，台湾就加入了世界上所有民主国家的行列，来谴责俄国的暴行，还有对俄国进行制裁。我们和所有的民主国家一起支持乌克兰。
And this is something that we will continue to do. And here I would like to announce several things. The first thing is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has already come up with a budget approved by our cabinet, an amount of around $56 million. It's going to be used to continue to provide support to Ukraine.
所以 台湾会继续协助乌克兰。那我今天也想要做几个声明。第一个就是我们外交部已经列出了预算，也是经过内阁同意的。我们台湾政府将捐赠5600万美元协助乌克兰重建。
But of course, Taiwan is a democracy, and therefore the budget needs to go through the legislative end. And here, with our 6 legislators from across the parties here tonight, and I am sure that the budget is going to be approved.
所以，但是台湾是民主国家哦，所以这个预算还是要经过立法院来审核、来通过。但是我们今天看到在场也有这个6位的立委，那他们也是跨党派的代表，所以相信这个预算是没问题，可以顺利通过的。
And for this budget, we would like to continue to support the Ukrainians to rebuild their schools, their hospitals, or other infrastructure that the Ukrainian government or the Ukrainian people think necessary.
所以这一笔预算呢，会帮助乌克兰来支持他们重建的工作，不管是学校、医院，还是重要的关键基础设施，只要是乌克兰的政府以及人民认为有需要这个重建的，我们都非常乐意协助帮忙。
And part of this budget would be for Taiwan to continue to work together with like-minded partners in Central and Eastern Europe, including the representatives that are represented over here, Poland, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic. And of course, we'll continue to work together with Lithuania. By joining together, we will be able to rebuild Ukraine, to rebuild your beautiful country.
所以这一笔预算呢，也会让台湾继续的和我们理念相近的国家，尤其是中东欧的理念相近的伙伴一起合作，像是波兰、斯洛伐克、捷克共和国，还有当然我们立陶宛，我们今天他们的代表都来到现场。相信只要我们团结在一起，我们一定能够帮助乌克兰重建他们美好的国家。
And the second thing I would like to announce is that we will open the Taiwan-Europe connectivity scholarships to the Ukrainian students for application. We already have Taiwan scholarships and also Taiwan fellowship open to the Ukrainian students to apply. Now the Taiwan-Europe connectivity scholarships will also be open.
所以再来第二个我要宣布的事情是，外交部明年的台欧联结奖学金名额将开放给乌克兰的学生来申请。那这是在已经开放给乌克兰学生及学者的台湾奖学金和奖助金之外的额外的名额。
I know we are not in charge of education. Education is Ministry of Education's domain. But we are also discussing with the Ministry of Education to urge universities here in Taiwan to open up scholarships for the Ukrainian students as well.
所以当然我们是外交部，所以教育并不是我们的组长的职责，但是我们也与这个主管教育的教育部正在进行相关的讨论。我们呼吁他们让台湾的大学都开放更多的奖学金名额，让乌克兰的学生可以来到台湾就学。
The third thing I would like to announce is that we have already established a task force on working together with Ukraine, and the location is in Poland. You probably have heard that we did not have an office. We do not have an office in Kyiv. And contacting with friends in Ukraine had to go through our office in Moscow. And we don't think it's the right thing to do. And therefore, we are going to move that part of our work to Poland, which is a staunch supporter for Ukraine and which is an excellent friend of Taiwan.
那再来第三个要宣布的事情是，我们已经建立了台湾和乌克兰合作的一个工作小组。那这个工作小组的办公地点是在波兰。那之前大家都知道，我们台湾其实在基辅是没有代表处的。那之前我们要和我们乌克兰的朋友进行相关联系工作的时候，必须要透过莫斯科的代表处。那我们认为这是不对的，所以我们希望将这些业务可以把它移动到波兰，因为波兰也是乌克兰的重要的支持者，也是台湾非常好的朋友。
Before I end today, I would like to say that Ukraine stands as a role model for Taiwan. when we see the bravery of the Ukrainians in fighting against the invasion of Russia, you have touched the hearts of the Taiwanese people. Your bravery have shown us what the self-determination to defend yourself is, and we want to learn from you, and you have been a role model for us.
所以那最后我在致辞即将结束的时候，我想要说，乌克兰是台湾非常好的一个模范。那看到你们勇敢的捍卫自己的家园，也让台湾的人民深深的动容。你们让我们看到有决心来自我保护是多么的珍贵的事情。
Now we are seeing that the Ukrainian people are pushing the Russians out inch by inch, and mile by mile, and city by city. I'm sure very soon you will push the invaders totally out of your borders.
所以我们也看到乌克兰的人民非常努力的奋战哦，就是在对抗俄军进行反击。俄军可以说是节节的败退，而乌克兰也渐渐的收复失土，收复他们被占据的城市。所以我相信最后乌克兰的人民一定可以把所有的俄军、所有的俄国人都赶出你们的家园。
We both are fighting for freedom and democracy. And we know Ukraine is going to prevail. Ukraine is going to win. Glory to Ukraine, and we will win with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
所以呢，这个我们是为了民主自由而战。我们知道乌克兰终将获得胜利，将取得胜利，荣光归乌克兰。谢谢。
谢谢部长，谢谢部长，请留步。接下来，我们很荣幸邀请 Tetiana Polyak 和 Maria Tonkovod 上台，代表乌克兰在台侨民赠礼给吴部长及总统，见证台乌坚定的友谊。Now we are honored to invite Ms. Tetiana Polyak and Ms. Maria Tonkovod to the stage. On behalf of the Ukrainian community in Taiwan, their gifts to Minister Wu and President Tsai embody the friendship between Taiwan and Ukraine.
As Ukrainian, who live in Taiwan, I would like to say big thanks to President Tsai. We feel support from the first day war start. And a few days ago, I visited Ukraine just to see my family for a few days. And my grandma, she gave me our family heirloom. So I really would like to present this to President Tsai. It's made by my grandma, and it's called Vyshivanka, which is really, really popular in Ukraine. So I hope she can have it. Thank you.
那我身为居住在台湾的乌克兰人，我要非常感谢蔡总统。蔡总统从战争爆发的第一天开始，就传达了对乌克兰的坚定支持。那几天前，我也回到乌克兰去见我的家人。那我奶奶就给我这个祖传的一个非常重要的这个礼品，所以我希望这个我奶奶亲手做的这个礼品也可以送给蔡总统，以表示乌克兰人的谢意。
And from all of the Ukrainian community, we want to thank Mr. Wu and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for showing so much support for Ukraine and also Ukrainians who are in Taiwan. It was really needed for us. And we're really, really thankful that you keep supporting us. Thank you very much. This is the candles that we've made for fundraising to help orphanages in Ukraine who have to move cities and so on. We hope to present this because these fragrance candles, they have the smells of each city, not each city, but 4 cities in Ukraine. And I hope you enjoy it. And maybe someday you actually go to Ukraine and experience the smells for yourself. Thank you.
那身为在台湾乌克兰人的代表，我们也要非常感谢外交部，感谢吴部长，展现了对台湾在乌克兰 在台湾的乌克兰人对我们展现出强大的支持，真的非常感谢。那这个礼物呢，其实是蜡烛。那我们蜡烛是拿来做这个募款的工作，是在乌克兰有一些孤儿院，他们因为战火波及，必须要就是移动他们的场址，所以我们为他们进行募款。那我认为也是非常有意义的，因为这些蜡烛的香味其实就代表着乌克兰4个重要的城市，所以希望部长会喜欢，也希望部长之后可以造访乌克兰的这4个城市。谢谢。
接下来，我们恭请部长蔡次长、台乌国会议员友好协会会长黄世杰委员、王定宇召委、林静怡委员、陈玉珍委员、谢依凤委员、王婉瑜委员、邱成元委员、欧洲司姚金祥司长与乌克兰及立陶宛国会议员上台合影。Now we'd like to invite Minister Wu, Honorary Kira Rudik, Honorary Zygmantas Pavlonis, Honorary Hannah Hopko, along with legislators and Director General Yao to the stage for the group photo. The stage for the group photo. They are Ms. Daria Kaleniuk, Ms. Yulia Sachuk, Mr. Andrei Polenko, Ms. Kasina Yok, Ms. Anna Bondarenko, Mr. Yurko Dadula, Ms. Kristina Rybachak, and Ms. Maria Milanovic.谢谢各位的莅临，欢迎享用现场的餐点及饮品，祝您有个美好的夜晚。Thank you for celebrating Taiwan and Ukraine's friendship. Please help yourselves with the refreshments. We hope you enjoy the beautiful evening. Thank you.